505. Right, we're on page 505 and we're talking about cash discounts and EOM dating. So it's section 15.7. Many wholesalers are using end of the month dating when granting cash discounts. With this method of dating, your business receives a cash discount if you pay for your merchandise within a certain number of days after the end of the month. And the example they give you is they give you this, 6/10, and then it says EOM. What do you think EOM stands for? End of the month. End of the month. Right. Okay, so if you see that, that's what it means. This number right here is the percent. Okay, that's the percent of your cash discount. This number tells you the discount given if bill is paid within this many days. After the end of the month. Okay, so for instance, if I give you one that happens today, it might be a little bit different. We're going to talk about that. But if I were to say February, I give you, if I said 6 EOM, 10, and it's February right now, you get 10 days into March in order to pay that off. Okay. However, there is a little stipulation that we're going to find a little bit later on that talks about how late those bills can go out. If I give you a bill right now, it wouldn't be the end of this month because it's too late to do that. It would be the end of the next month. Okay, and then it goes on to say, although it's not stated, it's implied the full amount is due 20 days after the last day of taking the discount. So if I were to give this month as an example, 10 days into March, but then by March 30th, that bill had better be paid. If not, what happens a lot of times is then you get charged a late fee. Whether it's 2%, 5%, I've seen quite a bit, where it said if it's late or past that, you get charged 5% each day or each whatever that's late. The formulas that we're going to use as cash discount is going to equal your net price multiplied by the cash discount rate. And as Derek, I've asked you, I don't know how many times, the rate is going to be a what?
It's going to be percent.
It's going to be a percent. Okay. Then in order to figure out the cash price, you take the net price and you minus out the cash discount. Okay. All right. So their examples that they give you have something like that, but we're going to start off with number one. Number one says, did you get that? Okay. Number one goes on to say an invoice dated November 7th has terms of 2/10 EOM. And it was dated November 7th. The net price is $7,100. The invoice is paid December 9th. Okay? Find the last day that the discount can be taken and the last day to pay the invoice. So first of all, when it has EOM, remember that's end of the month. We're into November. When it says 10 here, that means 10 days into that next month. What's the next month after November? December. So when's the last day to take part of the discount? December what? December 10th. 10 days into the month. Okay? So when it says 10 EOM, it means 10 days into the next month. Then it wants you to tell me what's the last date that you can pay it. And remember what we read on there is we said that you get 20 days after that discount is due. So what's 20 days after December 10th? December 30th. Okay, that is number 1. Number 2 says find the cash price. So first of all, if I have a discount, or if I use the formula that we had, what percent am I giving you off when I had 210 EOM? 2. What's $7,100 times 0.02? Huh? $142. Okay? So that's the discount. Then after I get the discount, in order to get the cash price, we take that dollar amount, that's $7,100, minus the $142, that's the discount that they're going to give you. And how much money is your bill going to be? What's 7,100 minus 142? $6,958. Okay? Now, keep this in mind. When we get down to the charts and whatnot, when it says 10 EOM and then it said something, what if they would have paid it on December 11th? Would they have got the discount? No. They didn't pay it within the discounted time. They paid it off before it was due, but they did not get the discount. So keep that in mind that you need to be careful. Sometimes, and I'm going to just assume that when we have our test on Wednesday on this stuff, that you might have some that are going to do that for you, where it'll give you 0 for one of the answers, or it'll give you that as far as 142. We might say, what's the discount? Be very careful. If you don't pay it within the time that your discount is supposed to be due, then you don't get the discount. Okay? But that's number 2. Now, it goes on to also say, when end of the month dating is involved, it is common business practice to grant 1-month extension of invoices dated on or after the 26th of the month. An invoice dated on June 28th with terms of 310 EOM is considered to be dated July 1st. The cash discount may be taken for 10 days after the end of July or until August 10th. So if it's later on in the month, according to that thing, then if I give you that invoice on Thursday, you're going to get the whole month of March and not have to pay it till April, according to what they say. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If I said end of the month dating as of today, the 23rd of February, it would be due 10 days into March. But according to that, when it says after the 26th of the month, then you get a whole nother month, which could be beneficial to you. So number 3 says an invoice dated February 27th. That's pretty close to today. Has terms of 310 EOM. And the net price is $2,400. Find the last day to take the discount and the last day to pay the invoice. So, is the 27th of February late enough in the month to give us the extra month? Yeah. Yes, it is. So, it's not due in March, it's due when? April. So, this would be April 10th to get the discount. That would be the last day to get the discount. When's the last day to get the invoice? Is 20 days after that. What's 20 days after the 10th? 30th. Okay? So I had April 10th and April 30th were my last 2 days that I could, or April 10th was the last day for the discount and the 30th was the last day to pay the invoice. Huh? Okay, if it's after the 26th of the month, Dennis, then you get that next month like a free month. Okay, so then what happened is we skipped March altogether. And the next month after that it would be April. So if it's the 26th or later in the month, I'm giving you a free month. And then you don't, it picks up the next month after that. Does that make sense? Okay. Then, in order to get the discount, it says using the complement method. Now remember what the complement method, that wasn't, hey, Shelby, you have a nice shirt on today. That's not the complement method, right? What's the complement method if the percent is 3%?
97.
97. So in order to find the cash price using the complement method, you take the 2,400 times it by, as Derek told me, 97% or 0.97. What's 2,400 times 0.97?
2,328.
2,000 what?
328.
328. Okay. When we have the complement method, remember, Dennis, we're going to take 100% minus the percent that they're going to give you. So that's 3%. So when they say the complement method, that's what they mean. Now, realistically, could you use the complement method just about for every single one of these?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when it comes time to do the test on Wednesday, the only time that I would really do the way we did the first one is probably when they say, what is the discount? Then I would have to do it that way. Okay? But if they don't say that, if they say, what's the cash price? I don't know. I think the complement method's easier. It's one multiplication, really, because you guys understand what the complement is. Pretty good. Yeah.
And like I find it easier to do these ones. Like, is it okay if we like use our like phones for like the calendars?
For the calendar? Sure.
Yeah.
You can have that out.
Okay. What was that?
I don't know about that, but. Okay. Do you want to do another one?
Yeah.
Which one? 8? Okay. 8 says December 29th. It's got 510 EOM. Part A says the last day to take the discount. First thing that we need to know, Courtney, the 28th of December is really late in the month, is it not? That's after the 26th, right? So that means the next month I'm giving you a freebie. So then it's 10 days into the next month after that. So what's the next month, first of all, after December?
January.
And then 10 days into the next month, which would be what?
I don't know.
What's the next month after January?
February?
Yeah, we're in February this month, yeah. That was after January. So we go all the way into February in order to get the discount. Okay, that's part A. Part B says the last day to pay the invoice. Okay, now this is the trick part for this one. And I'm glad you picked this one for this reason. If I go 10 days into February, or 20 more days into it, 20 plus 10 is February 30th. There's no such date as that. So that means that what date would it be? If it was 30 and there was 28 days only in February, then that's 2 extra days, right? So it's March 2nd, right?
What number is this?
It's number 8. Then it says that they went and paid it on February 8th. So, Courtney, if I paid for it on February 8th, did I make it within that time frame to get the discount? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the last date that you can pay before the discount applies. And you paid it before that, so yes, you get it. Now it says cash discount. And according to this, it says 5 right there, which means that's 5% off. And we have a bill of $16,517.84. Multiply that by 0.05, and that gives you part C. What's $16,517.84 times 0.05?
825.892.
Say it again.
825.892.
0.89. Because they're going to round to the nearest penny. You said a 2 after that, right? But that wouldn't bump it up. Okay, good. That's part C. Then part D says, what's the cash price? So now you need to take the $16,517.84 and subtract out the $825.89. And that will be your final answer, part D. We've got to finish 8 first. 15691.
Yep,
Point.
95.
Very good. Very good. So these are, I'm circling all the ones that are, except for that 5 that I circled up at the top. All, that's our parts A, B, C, D. Okay? Make sense? All right. Emily's asked for number 10. Number 10 says we have a net price of $7,641.60. The terms are 610 EOM and 30 EOM. Okay?
What is this for?
10. The invoice date is May 29th. The invoice is paid on July 29th. And it goes on to say when's the last day to take the discount. Okay? On something like that, that date is too late, right? So that May 29th, that's late in the month, so that way we get all of June off. So when is the last time that we can, or first date we have to pay off in order to get the discount? July 10th. What's 20 days after that? Mm-hmm. Part C, the cash price. Now, on this one, Emily, it never mentions anything about us finding the discount first and then the cash price. It just says cash price. So I'm going to do this complement method. What's the percent that I'm going to give you off? 6%. So then the complement of that would be what? 94. So I'm going to take the 76.41 and 60 cents and times it by 0.94. And how much do I get? And 10 cents. That's number 10.
So what's the end?
Remember last week, what was that? Net 30 means 30 days after the next month. But because the thing was so late, if you think of the 30 days at the end of the month, we are at July 30th. Right? That's all that. This just means that we're still at the 20 days after when the invoice is done. If it would have said 45, then we'd have 45 days after the end of the month, which would then mean it would be into August before we'd have to pay it off. So that's just telling you that, you know how normally it was 20 days and we got this one? This 30 here means that we go 30 days into that month that would be the final date that payment would be due. So if it would have said 45, then we'd have to go 45 days after July 1st. Okay? All right. Any other ones? So if not, then your stuff's on page 506 to 507, 1 through 12.